Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to do the hair tutorial for my Dita Von Teese picture that I did recently. Somebody requested that I do this tutorial on how to do the curls in her hair and everything, so I'm going to do that and let's get started. Basically, first thing, I have this little sketch drawn out that I did. I just kind of traced it over her hair so I didn't have to like do the whole face or anything, and basically I'm probably just going to do this side of her hair. Alright, so the first thing is first, just get a regular black colored pencil. That's pretty much all we're going to be using for this hair tutorial. Any kind, any brand works really. I've got like Artist's Loft, I don't know, but honestly the best kind of colored pencils that you want to get are Primsacolor, and I don't have access to those right now, so I'm just using these. These aren't that bad at all. So basically we're going to get started with this part right up here, which is basically like the scalp, where the hair comes from the scalp and where it goes up right here. And so what something that a lot of people don't understand is that hair is curved, and when you draw it from the scalp you want it to look curved and voluminous. So like right here and stuff, you can kind of see how the hair is curved up instead of straight, because nobody likes straight anyways. So that's what we're going to start with, but we're going to start over here. So we're going to make sure that our hairs are curving up this way, and then about right here, sorry about that, about right here, you're going to want to start making these hairs from this way, from curving this way around that way. You know what I'm saying? Like right there. I'm sorry if this is a little bit hard to see. I don't have very good lighting right now. But we're going to make that transition from going this way to that way. So we're just going to take all those lines up, and don't worry if it looks like crap now, because it will look good later. One of the most important things I always tell people when they're like watching me draw or something, I always tell them, don't judge the process, because like your drawing is literally going to look like shit for a good portion while you're drawing it, but it will get better, I promise. Alright, so right here you got to go from up, and this is a really important thing too. Like in this picture, her hair is going to be going back. This is a 3D person. This person is not flat, so you got to make her not look flat. Again, with the curved lines, you got to go from top and curve around bottom, so your lines are going to look kind of like that right now. We're curving over. So we're going to make those lines and just go down. Don't worry about where it lands or anything like that for now. We're going to fix that later. So that looks about good for right now, and as you can see, I left all that space blank, which is kind of where the light is going to hit, obviously. So basically what I did was I just went over it a couple times and I just darkened up this area, and you can make it as dark as you want. It doesn't have to be this dark, or it doesn't have to be this light, or whatever. And so basically that's just the base for this. What we're going to have to do now to make it look more realistic is that like this right here, all this is just white right now. There's absolutely no lines in there. And when you think about it, that is not how hair looks. There's going to be darker portions, there's going to be lighter portions, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a bunch of little lines going up and make these lines very, very thin and very light at first, and we're going to go over it and make it as dark as we want to later. But like I said, there's going to be strands of hair that are not going to be as light as the rest of them. Like right here, there's a strand that's not as light, and then you can make a strand that's lighter, and then a strand that's darker again. I mean it's all different. And so once you have that down, I know this does not look very good right now. Basically what we're going to do to fix this up, you know, like I said, don't judge the process because this looks terrible. What we're going to do to make this white part or light part stand out more is we're going to do contrasting. What we're going to do is we're just going to darken the parts that are just right here on the very ends, like the perimeter or whatever you want to call it. we're gonna darken those, but don't take the lines too far up. Your line should be like about that big. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna help and make the lightened part look a little bit more like it's real, and then make it look a little bit more like it's hair. So basically what we're talking about is, like, a lot of people when they're drawing, I'm just gonna do this really easily and fastly. They'll take a strip of hair and they will literally make like a straight white line, and they will not put any character in it, and it will just look very fake, because that's not what real hair looks like. And this is a real portrait of a real woman, so we're gonna make this hair look a little bit more real. And how we're gonna do that is, this looks a little bit straight across right now, so I'm gonna take this part up, the black part up a little bit, so it looks like it's curving and it looks like a little bit more natural, because really hair is not that, it's not that perfect, and it's not always gonna look like a straight perfect little line that you've got. So we're just gonna take that up, that black part up, and make sure that you're ending these lines like very swiftly, excuse me, kind of like that, because like if you're taking this line and you're doing this with it, it's not gonna look like hair, and it's just gonna look like lines. So continue to do that. Remember to follow, remember to curve it. Remember to curve it this way like we're supposed to, because that's the way that this part of the hair is going. And basically we just need to, the whole purpose of this is we just gotta blend it all out. We gotta make it look natural. We gotta make these lines like curvy and go together. And I'm pretty sure the term for curvy lines is organic, but I have no idea. So make these nice little organic lines. So at this point you're basically done with this part of the hair. I know it's a little bit messy, like this is not very clean at all, because this is basically just, you know, dirty, messy, trying to show you the basics of what you should include in your curls rather than me trying to make it look pretty. Alright, now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start drawing these like barrel curls or whatever that are right around on that part. These ones, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So what we're going to start out with is really thin light lines. As you can see, I kind of started on it a little bit over here, and the most important thing about drawing this part is that all your lines are curved. So I'm going to draw a couple over here. Is that all of your lines have that little bitty hook thing on them, and that they're curved, because you got to remember that these things are 3D and they're round, and when something's going around, it's going to be curved like that. So we're going to start off with just really thin lines coming all the way around here. Alright, so that's what I've got so far, and that's just the ones leading inward. Now we're going to start from this way, and we're going to lead them outward. So I'm going to start from all the way up here, and just do the same curved lines things again, except for we're hooking from this way. We're making a little hook from this way instead of this way. Alright, since now that we're done with filling in our really light lines around there, we're going to start darkening it up and adding some contrast. So you can see I've already kind of done that there, so we're just going to go over them, just doing the exact same thing that we did up here, just go over them with the same kind of lines. But just try and keep these darker lines closer to the edges, like I said, because we got to leave room for that white space. Again, be adding like a few darker parts coming out from this side, and darker parts coming out from this side, you know, just make sure that it looks natural. Basically use the same guidelines as we used up here, you know, it's not always the same color throughout the light part, or where the light hits. Alright, so you can see that I have darkened up this area right here. Now we're just going to do the same thing as we did up here, and we're going to draw really, really light lines. Make sure that you're keeping these curved. So your white lines should be, you know, like this. They should have a little bit of a curve to them instead of having them like this right here. Now remember that this doesn't have to be perfect. This is something that I always worry about, is if it looks messy or anything like that. Well, hair, I mean, it's not gonna be this like perfect, wonderful straight lines all the time. I mean, it's gonna have little crossover hairs, and it's gonna be a little bit messy like that, and that's just what makes it look a little bit natural. So, and now again, we're just going to use really, really tiny, small, dark black strokes, and we're going to go from here and here just to add contrast and lighten up this part where the light is hitting. So we're going to, again, make sure that you're keeping these rounded and it has a little hook on the end, because if it doesn't, then it's just going to look very, very flat. And also, areas like down here and up here, you can darken those just so this curl is kind of differentiated from this curl, and it's separated from these, and you know, it just kind of makes a little bit of a barrier so that you can tell where each different curl is. Also, remember to keep your pencil sharp, because I just kind of messed up a little bit right here, but I worked it out. But I mean, still, when your pencil's not sharp or there's something wrong with it, it can really like mess up your drawing big time. So basically what I did in my actual portrait was right here, there were a couple of stray hairs. So how we're gonna do those is we're just gonna really, really light lines. So remember to keep these aren't going to be perfectly in order, they're going to be kind of straggly. Fill some in the middle, make some darker, make some lighter for this part. And now, since we're basically done with this curl, we're going to go down to this one, and there's a certain aspect to this curl that I would like to cover with, which is basically the only reason that I'm going to be showing how to do this one, because really what I've shown you already is what you do for each and every one of them. It's just the same thing over and over again. But the thing that's special about this curl is that, as you can see right here, it's got like an effect to it, to where you can see that it's really curved around. It's really like, it looks like one of those roller curls or whatever, like that you put like a hot roller in it, or whatever you call them. So how we're going to do that, we're just going to start off with an oval. So we're going to just make that oval really, really dark and fill it in with circular motions. Don't make them don't do straight up circles. Don't do like straight up circles. Do like parts of curved lines, and then eventually they'll form together and become a circle, because trust me, it will look a lot better that way. Alright, so now that we have finished our oval, what we're going to do is we're going to make more of those little hook lines, and what we're going to do with those is we're just going to curve them around. So take them from the oval and make them curve out more as you get more to the center, and then you'll go in more. So the effect is that the curl is going to look like that. And just make sure that your hooks, the hooks that you make on your lines, are pretty clear, because that's what makes the curl look real. You don't have to make them as clear as I'm doing it, but I just like it that way. Alright, now that we're done with that part, we're just going to do the same, curved lines going this way. And we're going to leave that white space, so basically it's the exact same thing. Alright, so I just finished up that curl. It's basically the exact same thing. I added light parts and dark parts and light gray lines to my area where the light is hitting, and I contrasted it and I put dark lines in there, and that's basically what you're going to do for all the rest of the curls. Okay, basically that's my video. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to see me do any more tutorials, follow me and message me on Tumblr at Rich Catholic on Tumblr, or you can just comment down below. So thank you very much for watching.